106.7 KCAL rocks. It is that time on a Thursday already, man, to do some sports with our guy, Pep. Pep, what's going on?
You could say it's the best day of the week, Patrick, because we got NFL football tonight, and it really ushers in another big weekend of football because we'll get to the college football conference championship games. There's only a handful, but they're big-time, meaningful games. But this time of the year, the NFL playoff picture begins to take shape. You see all those graphics with, like, if the season ended today, these would be the playoff teams, and these would be the playoff matchups. So some big-time important games in the NFL, and actually a huge one on Thursday Night Football. Sometimes we get clunkers. Not tonight, man. This is a big one with the Packers taking on maybe the best team in all of football, the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, there really is a lot of hype around this game because you're right. Normally, they've been known to be not that good at games. They're talking this may be the greatest Thursday Night Football game ever. A lot of hype going into this one, plus just the Lions being this good. We're all wondering, can they take it far? It certainly appears that way, but we'll believe it when we see it.
Yeah, still kind of weird for me at least to say that the Detroit Lions are the best team in the NFL. Like, what bizarro world are we living in? Because they were so bad for so long. But yeah, they do look like the best team in the NFL. And Green Bay, man, with that young nucleus they have, this could be a big-time rivalry for, many years to come now.
I mean, if they were able to pull it off, we're starting to imagine it a little bit. Mm-hmm. If, what would happen to the city of Detroit? It feels like they would burn that place down.
Oh, man, it would be big time. Think about it. I mean, the Pistons won an NBA championship, the early 2000s. So it was easily 20 years ago. The Tigers finally made the playoffs this year. That was kind of a surprise story. So Detroit needs a winner, So the Red Wings had their run a long time ago. So anyways, the Lions. Who would have thunk it? A Thursday Night Football, big one tonight against Green Bay. Other big games this weekend. The Rams will take on the Bills. Of course, we saw what the Bills did against my 49ers, completely just demolished them in the snow. That's a big game for the Rams, in the NFC West race for that best overall record. But maybe the big game, at least inside that division, is Arizona and Seattle head-to-head. Maybe the biggest game of the weekend in terms of, division supremacy.
The Seahawks were able to give Kyler Murray, not easy to contain, the business. It really feels like the Seahawks defense has really figured things out. Now they got to go to AZ and do it once again. Something tells me it's not going to be so easy. It's the NFL, man. It's tough.
Not easy in the AZ, huh? We heard that from Patrick right now.
Yeah.
And there was talk for a little bit. There was a moment through this season, a stretch where Kyler Murray's name was being tossed around for, most valuable player this season because I don't think a lot of people thought Arizona might be the best team in that division. They picked everyone but Arizona to be the best team in the division.
I never thought anyone could keep him in the pocket, man. And I never thought that the Seahawks would be able to do it. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. They were able to do it. Maybe the most mobile guy there is, other than Lamar.
Yeah. No, yeah, his game is similar to Lamar Jackson's for sure, of the Baltimore Ravens. So that's a big game, Seahawks and Cardinals in the NFC West. And maybe, Packers Lions tonight is obviously huge, but the Sunday Night Football game, arguably the biggest game of the entire weekend, as the Chargers will take their show on the road to Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs in Kansas City in front of a national audience. I'm a Niners guy, but definitely I will be saying go Lightning Bolts on Sunday night.
I really would love to see the Chargers do their thing, but it does seem like injuries do make a difference. I do not like for the Chargers having J.K. Dobbins out. I've even heard that Ladd McConkey might not be able to go. Oh. That's not good. I don't like that. Those are the two that really make the offense works. That's putting a lot on Mr. Justin Herbert, man. Yeah. We'll see, though.
Yeah, McConkey has been like his go-to guy, especially like on third down when they need a big, first down. They go to McConkey, and then, Harbaugh loves to run the football. Dobbins has been the guy this season. So, yeah, that could hurt. But regardless, if all the guys are there, none of the guys are there, whoever's there, go Lightning Bolts on Sunday night.
Yeah.
All right, the college football playoffs. Listen, we're going to know next week who's in that 12-team playoff First time that, college football's ever done this. We only have a handful of conference championship games, so we'll know exactly what happens after this weekend. But as of right now, it looks like the best team out of the 12-team playoff is the Miami Hurricanes. And a couple of weeks ago, they look like they might be one of the top 4 teams, like getting that first-round bye, and they lost a couple bad games, including one to Syracuse. So now they might not even make the playoffs. They would need, I don't know what kind of path they would need, but they would need a lot of other teams to lose. They do not control their own destiny now because they don't play.
Right. It is a wild thing. We still have that debate of the committee choosing strength of schedule. It's a very tough formula. It reminds me of the BCS computer that people used to complain about all the time. But
Yes.
Pep, I was listening to a very, very well-known sports show in LA, and I swear they listened to Pep Sports because they were saying, well, now people can at least argue about the 13th best team being out instead of the 5th. I was like, they got that from us.
Because the argument is that Alabama, who obviously has been one of the best teams in the entire country, like in this scenario, Alabama would be in to the 12-team playoff, although a lot of experts say they don't deserve to be in. Miami is deserving, but listen, Miami had a chance to control their own destiny too, and they didn't. They did not get to the ACC championship game, and they should have been. They should have been at least in the championship game, and they probably should have won the ACC championship game, but they're not. And that's the case. They had a great year, but they might be on the outside looking in of the 12 teams in the playoffs next week.
And they have to balance this stuff out. I mean, even look at a team like Boise State. They've been running the table, but they did lose to Oregon, but they're calling that a good loss because Oregon is the number 1 team in the nation. That stuff matters.
Yeah, they battled Oregon too. That was a close game in Eugene. So, and Boise State, they're going to play UNLV, who I think is number 20 in the nation right now. Look out for the Runnin' Rebels. Like, they can play football again. But what if Boise State loses and UNLV is your conference champ? UNLV will get a spot in the playoffs, and Boise State, do you still put them in? So even though there's not a lot of games this weekend because it's only the championship games for the conferences, there is still a lot on the line. It's going to be fun.
I told the kids, I said, listen, because they got the new college football on their PS5 and they love playing with Boise State and running over people with Genty. I go, if they lose to UNLV this weekend, they ruin everything for themselves.
Yeah, right? The whole season. It's one of those deals where it's like nothing else matters if you lose this last game. It doesn't matter. Ask Miami. None of that matters if you lose at the end of the season. So it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be a lot of important games this coming weekend for college football. It is also NBA time. I know we talk a lot of football, but who doesn't, right? Football's king, but it is NBA basketball right now, and the NBA Cup is down to their final 8 teams, 4 in the West, 4 in the East. The bad news is the Lakers will not be able to hang an in-season championship banner again. The defending champions did not make the NBA Cup playoffs. The Lakers didn't. The Clippers didn't either. So no Lakers, no Clippers. If you're keeping track at home, I think it's kind of silly trying to make us care about the NBA in the month of December. I'm all in on football right now, but if you care about NBA, they've got the NBA Cup right now.
I think in a way you care and you don't care. First of all, hanging the banner is kind of silly. It feels weird when the Lakers did that. Like that matters at all. It's more, I think, to go against the load management thing. So when you take your kids to a game, they make sure that LeBron plays and see stuff like that. I think it's more of a thing like that where you get to see the stars if you go to a game, because that was a huge complaint by a lot of people. You spend all this money to take your kids to see LeBron, and then he's taking the night off or whatever, and then your kids are all devastated.
Yeah, and I think too, like I have not paid a super close attention to the NBA Cup. My Sacramento Kings are not one of those 4 teams in the playoffs. I think it's Houston, Oklahoma City, Golden State, and Denver. I want to say the 4 teams in the West. Anyways, but I think there is some sort of monetary compensation for the players, like the team that wins the NBA Cup. So there's that too. Like the guys are probably thinking, well, I can make a little extra change, if we win this in-season NBA Cup tournament that they're doing. So there's money. Money persuades people, right, to give extra effort.
And then even in saying that, that could be working against him as well. It's like, oh my God, these rich millionaires, you have to offer more money to care more and to play harder. Oh God, that makes people hate him even more.
Yeah, he's making $80 million, but he wants an extra 100,000,
to be motivated.
To motivate himself. Yeah, so there's that.
Yeah.
And finally, it is the offseason for baseball, but the defending world champion Dodgers already getting ready to reload for next year. They signed Blake Snell, the former Padre, the former Giant. He will be in Dodger blue in that starting rotation next year. He got a boatload of money. And now Juan Soto, who's the big free agent out there, I should say, this offseason. The Dodgers are being linked to him, too. I don't know where they're getting all this money, but Juan Soto apparently is going to decide very soon, and the Dodgers are in the mix.
Right. Blake Snell, huge signing, big left-handed pitcher. That was the one thing people always said, where's the lefty for the Dodgers rotation? They nailed down the Seattle kid, Blake Snell. So I'm super pumped about that for the Dodgers. And you're right, we're basically on Juan Soto watch.
Yeah.
He's narrowing down the teams. It looks like it's going to be a big deal. This deferring money down the road has become the absolute new thing in baseball.
It's genius, right? So you stay under the salary cap and you just spread this money out. Someone else had a deal. I saw it on Twitter the other day. Someone else had another deal where it's like they're going to get, I don't know, it was like $800,000 a year. But for like 30 or 40 years, I was like, oh, well, that's nice. Like it's smart. And the team doesn't take such a huge hit, but they're still going to get he's still going to get paid, but it's not, so immediate like Shohei Ohtani. It's genius.
And we'll see if that meme from Breaking Bad comes around again. I saw a meme when they said they signed Blake Snell and they're looking at Juan Soto. They showed Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad, all non-Dodger fans. You can't keep getting away with that. You can't. He's like crying and screaming. It was very, very funny. We will see what happens. That's why we got our guy Pep. We'll talk to him again on Monday. Pep, tell him how to get your stuff.
Oh, by Monday, Juan Soto could be a Dodger. You never know. You can get my stuff on Inland Sports, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, also Inland Sports, YouTube. If you're down with local sports here in the IE, check us out. That's Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pep.